the author of The Upside of Oil and a host of the Jay Young Show podcast. Jay, welcome back to American Ground Radio, sir.
Hey, man, great hearing your voice and great being on your show again. Thank you.
So the oil reserves at a 45-year low. That's the headline. What in the world does that mean?
Yeah, well, our strategic reserves, which is put back and it's up to capacity, the capacity like 700 million barrels. We produce about 20, we consume, our appetite is 20 million. George Bush called it our addiction, but let's just call it our appetite, is 20 million barrels a day. Every day in the United States, we consume 20 million barrels a day. And if we did not have any oil coming in, going out, whatever, if it was all shut in, we're supposed to have by Ronald Reagan was like, okay, let's have some put back just in case something happens so we can have a reserve. Right. So us and a lot of other countries out there said, hey, that's great. Let's put the oil somewhere where bombs can't get to it. Let's hide it from other countries and let's put it to where we can have this at our disposal. And then President Biden said, hey, this looks like a good time to use it for political reasons, and let's no war or anything. And President Biden started, coming down, declining our reserves, a couple of years ago, and all of a sudden we have less and less reserves now than we have in a long time because President Trump has also had to go back and take about 100 million barrels out. So we were at 400 million barrels in March. Now we're at 300 million. The lowest, like you said, Stephen, we're at the lowest level that we've been in years, decades. And if this continues on, we'll be without a reserve just in case something happens and we can't get imports from other countries in, or we need oil or something that's really safeguarded. And we need reserves because we don't want to be dependent on foreign oil if we don't have to have it. If there's any way possible for us to use it here in the United States, it'd be great to have it. And that's the reason why it's good to have it. And unfortunately, we're at our lowest. We're going to have to buy it. I think what's going to happen is prices will come down the next year or two after these midterms, and maybe we can start filling that thing up again.
So how many millions of barrels should we have in the strategic petroleum reserves?
Yeah, I think 400 to 500 million barrels. Just like I said, we consume 20 million a day. We're producing about 13 million. The good news about this, and I know that's what Trump's thinking, is, hey, you know what? We're producing as much oil today as we ever have in the United States. Thank goodness for entrepreneurs, horizontal drilling, fracking, the Permian Basin, which was a non-producer 15 years ago, 1 million barrels a day. It's doing 6 and 7 million barrels a day, every day. Right now, it has increased that much because of horizontal drilling and fracking. The Bakken has done the same thing. The Eagle Ford down in South Texas has increased production a lot. So we are producing more oil today than we have in years, or if ever, which is it's good for us to be more independent than dependent on other countries. And with Canada and Mexico, I don't say we can fly without anybody else in the world, but we can fly better. I'll just say that right now. We can do a lot better without other foreign countries like OPEC.
Jay Young, you mentioned that Joe Biden drained the petroleum reserve for political reasons, but Donald Trump's also draining it. How is the reasoning for the current decrease in the petroleum reserve different than what Biden was doing?
Yeah, good. That's a good question, and also a good thought. And I'll tell you what, some people would say he's doing it for political reasons, which I do agree with. There is some of that in there for political reasons, because he is going up through midterms. He does not want a Democratic Congress. He does not want to be impeached or go through the impeachment process again, which would happen if he did have Democrats in. So I agree with that, but I'm also saying that there is a better reason for him to take in or take out some of the petroleum reserves because we are in a war and because the Strait of Hormuz, 20% of all the oil in the world has to go through there, and we have shortages all over everywhere. And if we didn't, oil's at $80 a barrel right now. If we didn't have that, and because of a lot of things that are going on around the world right now, we would see a lot higher oil. Matter of fact, I think oil should be a lot higher right now based on all the information that I'm seeing. But even if it isn't, I feel like that if we did not have the reserves right now, and we're starting to increase our reserves and our production out of Venezuela, we would see a lot higher prices right now.
But Jay, you said President Trump drew down about 100 million barrels. I mean, that's only 5 days of consumption, and we've got about 45 seconds. Would 5 days of consumption, I mean, that really makes a big difference in the price of gasoline at the pump?
Yeah, it's a good question, and because we only take out like 1 million barrels a day, 1.5 million barrels a day, so it's not anything. It's like Venezuela at 1 million, 2 million. It's not the answer, but it helps. So that's kind of what I'm saying. So it's not like oil's at $82 a barrel right now. We're seeing a supply problem. Demand is continuing to go up, and as long as demand continues to go up, we have not seen oil demand go down. We haven't seen peak oil demand. As long as that continues to go up and our supplies are short, we need anything and everything we get our hands on.
Gotcha.
OPEC's a problem, so we're looking. We need it.
Jay Young, we appreciate your time here on American Ground Radio. Thanks for coming back.
Absolutely. Anytime. Love being on, you guys. Y'all take care.